Hello, everybody. Hello, Africa. How you doing? It's your boy Ugotuvijames. Yet another edition on Be Inspired on CleverNet TV. Wherever you are in diaspora, we'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope you are doing great wherever you find yourself doing. And today on Being Inspired, we have a lady who's working so hard through the media industry, and she want to share with us her untold story, how it all started. And today, she's here with me live on CleverNet TV. Lizzy, how you doing? Good to meet you. Good to have you here.
Good to have you too, Tui. Good to have you too. Thank you.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow, it's such a beautiful and busy lady. You're always creating content every week. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Let's get to meet who's Lizzy and when did it all start and where were you born? What's your origin? And people want to know you better. So let's start with it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tui. My name is Lizzy, and I am a Nigerian from Delta State. So of course, I do have a high national diploma in computer science. So it's almost like a contrast to content creation. So we'll be getting to that. So I was born in Delta State in Nigeria, lived all of my life in Lagos and Edo State, and onwards to Johannesburg, South Africa for over a decade now.
So you are a content creator and what's the other one again?
I am a brand handler as well. I would explain that.
Creator and a brand handler. Okay, let's start with content. What is content and what kind of content are you creating? What is the use of the content and what message are you preaching in the content?
Okay, content creation is actually giving people entertainment. Like basically what I do is like a 5 minutes entertainment. And if you look at the trend in content creation now, in entertainment now, it's not so much about the TV. The TV is in people's palm right now. So it's gone past that era of playing games on TV. You have to give people entertainment, updates on a lot of things. So I create content around those things, entertainment, things that they would normally have to sit in their homes to watch. So we bring it to the cell phone.
Okay, you bring it to the cell phone. So you constantly create something for entertainment.
That's right.
And how long does it take to create one content that you created? Or that you create every week or every day or during the week?
Okay, it depends on the content one wants to create. If you want to put in the work, then you would be taking about 2 to 3 hours to create a 5 minutes content, because you have to put a lot into consideration. You have to put things like, like interpreting your story in a very good way. And you remember that if you're very particular about not putting out junk out there, so you just have to take so much time to create content. But again, I don't really see that taking so much time, because it's something I love doing. Because if you love telling story visually, telling story on the camera, so it's not so much of taking time to me, but just enjoying what I do at the same time.
So if you were not creating content, what would you be doing originally?
If I wasn't creating content, and I'm going to come to that, I am actually a biomedical science student, a final year science student. So if I'm not creating content, I would be in the classroom or in the laboratory.
Okay.
Yeah. So even alongside content, that doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop me from pursuing my career in a field where I cannot do myself. Content is something I love. It's a talent. So, and because I'm someone who is always eager to explore new areas, so that is why I took up a degree in South Africa, in the University of South Africa, to pursue something in the medical science. So if I wasn't creating content, I would be full-time in the laboratory.
How long ago have you been in South Africa, and what impact are you making in South Africa?
I've been in South Africa for 11 years now. And the impact I am making in South Africa, besides, I have a charity project that I do, which is the Pad for Teens, Pad for Teenage Girls. So that is my charity project. But the way I am making impact, apart from my charity project, is this brand management. Because I
Okay.
see that there are a lot of Nigerians here, a lot of people from other African countries, a lot of South Africans that want to create content but do not know how to go about it. So I sat down and I thought of ways to give back as much as I am getting. And I thought of handling brands. And handling brands is just to put them through, like mentor them on creating content, on building their personal brand. And as soon as they fly as a brand, then my work is done. So that's my impact so far.
Excellent. Excellent. Well done. Well done. Excellent. So,
Mhm.
well, let's talk about your content that you create. What type of stories and content that you constantly create that we should look out for or want to see?
Okay, my contents are mostly fictional stories, and they are mostly based on happenings in the environment. Some of them are influenced by happenings in South Africa, some are influenced by happenings in Nigeria, and some are just religiously influenced. So at the end of the day, most of them come down to moral lessons. So my contents are mostly around African values and moral lessons. They could be comic to some people, they could be um, a lesson learned for some other people, but that is just what it is. That's why I'm not comfortable when people say she's a comedian. No, I'm not a comedian. I'm a content creator.
Mm.
So my contents, that's just moral lessons and events around.
Okay. Still talking about content. I know this thing takes a whole lot of crew members and people to work with. Do you have sponsorship, or this is what something you just ditch out of your pocket? And how do you monetize this content?
Okay, very well. I do not have sponsorship. I sponsor my content, my production myself. Like I'm the executive producer of my content, and this is also because I kind of understood the business aspect of content creation, and then monetized it. And so far, that has been like the return of interest has been good enough to sponsor my content creation. There are crews, there are crews, there are people involved. It's not a one person thing because obviously you can be writing, acting, and behind the scene and all. So there are crew members, and some of those crew members are also some people that want to be mentored and just want to be on the scene, because I might just tell you so much about content creation verbally. I explain it, but if you're not there hands on to experience things and see things, then it's more like getting a 50% information. So
Okay.
that's how I develop my content.
Now, notes. Can you give us like one or two stage one, stage two of content creating and how to monetize?
Okay, I'll use a popular social media platform, for example, because my contents are mostly posted across different social media platforms. And so on one of them, basically, I what you do to monetize your content is, for example, like on Facebook, you have to have a certain number of followers, and then and your content must have been watched for a certain number of minutes. And if you reach this milestone of 10,000 followers and 600,000 watch minutes, then you can be monetized. When people hear this thing, they believe it's so difficult and all of that. How long will until I get this? So that's where I come in to manage some of those brands and say, no, the key is consistency. You could be consistent for 1 week and then you get to this level of monetization. But if you're not consistent, then that might never happen. So that's basically like the ABC of content monetization. But there are things that could hinder one from getting monetized. Because at the end of the day, if you are getting paid for something you love doing, then that's what I want to believe that that's what a lot of us love to do. You're working and having fun at the same time and then making a living. So that's like the ABCD of content monetization on one of the social media platform.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So let's talk about branding. So you manage Okay, let's say if I'm new now in content creating, would you be able to manage and mentor and also brand anybody who's interested in content creating?
Yeah,
That's
that's
how. Tell us the basic beginning.
okay. For brand management, basically, we normally I just look at the person's long-term goal in terms of content creation, because if you're looking at a long-term goal, then there are a lot of things that one has to do, which has to be like abiding by rules of the platforms you're going to be using, and understanding your viewers. So when we understand those things, then we can develop the content, we can develop things to please the viewers, which the content creator is also very comfortable around doing. So some people just put out different contents without niching down. So that's where I come in as a brand manager. Okay, let's niche down on this thing. Do you want to do a cooking show? Let's encourage you to do a cooking show. This is how you go about it. This is how you go about it. So all of those things are what I do as a content, as a brand manager. And then there are some people who their purpose of wanting to create content is not for monetary reasons. Like you have some people in politics who just need a brand manager to handle their brand, to give visibility. So that's also like a different angle. You just manage the brand, their visibility on social media.
Excellent.
Yeah, so those are part of the things I do as a brand manager.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's excellent. You're working hard. You're
I
really pushing. And then the next question would be how long does it take how long does it take to really create or at what scale would you rate the content you've created? What scale would you rate it? Is it on 50%, 100%? And how's the impact so far on the content you've been creating so far?
Well, my if I'm going to judge by the statistics that I have from not by the reach of my content has a very large reach. And if that is so, that is because people enjoy what I am doing. And if I'm going to, I wouldn't even rate myself by myself, because I feel like if I'm rating myself on a 90, I'm not kind of allowing the chance to grow. But if I look at my rating, the rating that people give, I in most cases I have a 4-star rating.
Mm,
So I
mm,
see people like what I'm doing, and like I said, my content is around things that people can relate with.
yeah.
Sometimes it has to be like things like gender-based violence. It has to be things like creating awareness on a certain other gender that's been neglected. Some could just be something on happy marriages, because there are a lot of contents on abusive partners. So sometimes I just put out content to show that no, it is not all about this issue. There are other issues. So if I'm going to rate myself, I'll rate myself according to what the platform rates me, which is a good one, which is on a good.
Excellent. Excellent. On that note, I would like to ask you what inspires your each content and each storyline that you tell? What inspires them for you to create them?
Okay. Number one, my inspiration actually comes from where I live, which is South Africa. I realized that I cannot wait on the government for employment or for some opportunities, because of course that will be asking for too much, considering the people that are dependent on the government. So I was inspired by the fact that I can create my own job even if there's nothing on ground. So that is like an inspiration. That is an inspiration for the drive to create
Okay.
content. That's the number one inspiration. Like if you tell yourself I need to market myself out there. I don't have to wait for um television companies to give me content. I have to create content, and then they begin to see this content and appreciate it. So that's my inspiration basically.
Okay, Lizzy, you are on Diaspora TV right now. There's a lot of people watching you, and there's a lot of people who's going to see this, and they want to know how, they want to know how best do you describe the kind of content you create for them to like pay attention to it or go to your page and watch these things? How would you describe the type of content you create for people to watch?
Okay, like I say, my content in the general term is called skit, right? And that's basically for entertainment purposes. So my content is basically like I have described it again on skits making for entertainment purposes. I make like the television is on our palm now, like I rightly said. A lot of people do not have time to be on their TVs, to be in on their couches. So I am one of those people who create entertainment so for people who are looking for entertainment or people who are looking for ways to learn how to make business out of entertainment. So that's where my contents create. That's what my content is all about: entertainment and the business side of entertainment, especially this new age. Because if you look at it very well, it's not been a long time since some of those platforms started monetizing, like Facebook started monetizing content, unlike some older platforms. So people are still trying to find their feed. They're still confused. But when they come to my page, sometimes on my live video, they see some lessons on how to go about creating content and monetizing their page. So there's so much to learn on my page. And if someone stumbles on one content on my page, I think from what they would see, they would want to go further. And judging from some of the messages I get, like how can
search no further. Clevenard African Movies TV is here for you. We are dedicated to the acceleration of African films, TV series, documentaries, and lots more. Explore our movies at home or on the go. Clevenard Movies is free to watch on clevenard.com. Don't miss this opportunity. Hurry now. Sign up and subscribe today.
All right, welcome back on Being Inspired. Still here with Lizzy, the content producer and brand ambassador. But anyway, she's sharing a lot on how to be more content creator if you want to be. Yes, Lizzy, we were talking earlier. I wanted to ask you before we went on break. For people who are out there, women out there who wants to be content creator, what would it take for them to start, and how long would it take for them to start monetizing?
Okay, so for women who want to become content creators, what it takes is actually a cell phone. Yeah, if you have a cell phone, you don't have an excuse. That's how I put how I put it, because some people tend to think that it's they have to start using complicated equipment like people who have been there for a very long time. But I said no. You just take a cell phone and do something outside with the sunlight. And then you have a perfect lighting. Do something and put it out there. Over time, you will climb the ladder. And now for how long it will take. On a normal day, or with the same social media platform that I mentor people on, which is Facebook, it takes 30 days. 30 to 60 days, you are expected to be able to monetize in 60 days. So from the day you have a new page, for example, until 60 days. And if they are given 60 days, that's because it is possible. Because in that 60 days, you could become monetized, due for monetization in a day, in a week. So I just tell women, if you have a cell phone, go in the sun, create a content, ask people around, what would you like to watch? If I do this thing, would it be okay? Because some people want to start with having a script writer, having a different production team. I said, no, just have someone hold for you in a sunlight. Over time, before you know it, you have all of the sophisticated equipment, which is like the proper lightings and all of the rest. But a cell phone is all it takes.
Excellent. Excellent. So on that note, what motivates you, Lizzy, to work harder in life?
Sylvie, you know what motivates me is the fear of being poor. it does motivate me. It stimulates me mentally because I know that if I become lazy mentally, then I think I've just put a full stop for myself. So that is my major drive, and that is why I just wake up and then I tell myself, yeah, you don't need to, you don't have the luxury to sleep now. If I do this now, before I get older, I can retire quickly. So I don't have to. I don't want to. I don't want to keep on working as hard as I am working now when I'm older, when I'm in my late 40s and 50s. No, I don't
It's
want to do that.
interesting. On that note, so if you would like to collaborate with some people who are also content creator in the world or in Africa, who would that be? Who motivates you to create yours? The content creators who you would like to collaborate with.
Okay. I do have a couple of young women that motivate me, and I know of Tao. Tao is a very talented content creator in Nigeria, and Kiki. These are very wonderful ladies that if I look up to them when I see the content they create, I make them know that I'm aiming to get to their level of content creation. So these people are the people that I would like to collaborate with, and they're also more like my mentor, even though they don't know that they are mentoring me, but I know that I'm looking up to them as mentors in the industry.
Nice, nice. So, what is your definition of success? I know it varies for different individuals, but
Mhm.
what's your definition of success in life?
Okay. My definition of success is not only monetary, because I'm also of the school of thought that if the only thing you have is money, then you are not successful.
Mm,
Me, my definition of success is being productive at what one does in their own pace. It
okay.
just to be like one has just to be productive. If in business, in academics, just being productive. It's not a question of are you better than this person. So for me, that is success for me. Just being productive at whatever you do. That is a simple for me.
Interesting. I like that. I like that. So, looking at Lizzy, content creator, brand ambassador. What is new? What is new for Lizzy Productions and content creating? What should we expect?
There's so much to expect. There is so much to expect, and among those things to expect is to explore a bigger platform of entertainment and content creation. And like I said, I'm so much in love with education, so I never stop. So you will find me here in entertainment, and you're still going to find me in academics. So those two are things that will be expected from me. And because of my love for academics and my love for teaching, that's why I'm doing the teaching part in the brand management. So for me, you might see me tomorrow and you see me in my laboratory codes, and I'm probably assisting in the cure for COVID someday. So that is what will be expected from me in that regard. But for content creation, for entertainment, I'm not slowing down. I'm not stopping. Nothing is stopping me. I will explore bigger platforms. I will work with bigger platforms, and this could be into collaborating to produce something really big, and something really big in the entertainment industry, like in the cinemas and all of that.
Talking about expectation, where do you see your content creating in the next 10 years?
I see my content creating in the next 10 years to have metamorphosed to something that will be in cinemas.
In
Yeah.
cinema?
Now, yeah, that's how I see it. I had a discussion with someone, and they say, you know what, cinema would fade in a very short time. I'm like, no, every one cannot take away the other. They're all going to evolve at their own at their own pace. The question is, if you do not evolve with those things, then you will think it has faded. No, people will keep evolving. So I see myself on the big. I see my content on the big screen. That's
Yes.
where I see my content.
How would you rate the social media? in your content creating? Is it supportive? Is it encouraging? Or is it discouraging?
It is very encouraging. It's got its downsides, but I thought it is very encouraging. It is very supportive. It has created a means of livelihood for people who know how to exploit. I found a way to exploit, and it has created a really good means of livelihood for me. You know, people when I tell people sometimes that on content creation that you can make as much as $10,000-15,000 a month, they'll be like, how? And that's okay. No, let me show you. I'll show you, and I'm telling you as a proof. So social media has been really very encouraging. The only downside of this is that you are putting yourself out there, your good times, your bad times, so people kind of have opinion. And sometimes that then translates to a bit of bullying, wanting to control. So that is just the downside. But otherwise, it's 100% encouraging.
Talking about downside, I know in life nothing good comes easy. You have to put in the work into it. And can you share some moments where you feel discouraged and what kept you going? And then what are some hardest moments you faced trying to create content?
The hardest moment is sometimes the thing that makes it really hard is being a parent, seeing that sometimes like the family needs you, but you are not available at that time. You have to skip like some soccer lessons, you have to skip some school meetings. So those are like challenging times, and you just wish, can't I just do something else that I could have time for the family? Now, the other downside is also what comes from the platforms you're using. If like in some cases, I have at the point in time been demonetized. And that means you cannot earn for us for a couple of months as the platform deems fit. So in those times, a lot of people have just stopped creating content. They just quit and say, no, I can't do this anymore. But I kept on pushing and kept on understanding the platforms that I'm using, and kept on understanding the kind of content that my followers like. Because if you keep putting out content that your followers do not like, they end up either reporting, doing some other things, and then that takes away the ability to make money from some of these platforms. For me, gone are the days where I will come on some of these platforms to just have fun and just take a selfie and just put out there. No, if I am not enjoying myself and making money out of it, then it's not for me. But at that time, I wasn't making money, but I kept on pushing. I just kept on, I kept on doing what I was doing. And when I came back like 5 times better than even before I was demonetized. So that was the downside, the discouraging side that was almost making me feel like quitting, but I didn't.
So how long does it take to start making money from these contents you create?
If you post, okay, is it from the content or for how long does it take to monetize?
When you started, yeah, where did you start really making money and start seeing that, oh, I'm doing something?
Okay, I started making money on this content 2 years ago, on this content creation. But as at that time, it was just like beats. But over time, because it doesn't come the same way and the same speed for everyone, it depends. As I'm growing more I'm getting more experience in this regard. So there are things that I know I should do, things that I shouldn't do. So it took me about 4 months after monetization before I started making content. And then I got my first fame. My first, one of my video then generated a certain amount of about $4,000. And I was like, oh, okay. This could actually be a good thing to put in more effort. So I put in more effort, and then the rest it's been good so far.
So basically, it's all about more effort, more enthusiasm, more believing in yourself, and more believing in what you do.
That is it. It's just like every other thing. Nothing good comes easy. So that's why I believe one has to enjoy what they do. I enjoy what I do. So when I make a living from it, then it's just a win-win for me. I don't want to be in a place where it's all about the money for me. I don't want to be in such environments where, yes, I'm making a living, but I'm not happy. But with content creation, it's not just so much about the money. It's about the fact that I love being on the camera. I love directing. I just love putting things together and then seeing how beautiful it looks. And if I end up making money from that, it's a win-win for me. So that's for me. That's how it was, putting in more effort and enjoying what you do.
So where do we find your content originally? Where do we find it?
Okay, I have a platform on Facebook, which is Saint NK. The same for Instagram and the same for TikTok. So these are the places where my contents can be found. Saint NK on Facebook, Saint NK on Instagram, Saint NK on YouTube, Saint NK on TikTok.
So if you were to be the CEO of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, what would you do or change to help people who are creating content?
Oh, well, if I am to be the CEO, I would want to do something different in terms of the algorithm. Because we understand, we want to, when you create content, beautiful content, and you just see that people do not even, you don't even have views on this content, it kind of becomes discouraging. So if there is a way for me to just make it a little flexible for videos to be distributed, that's something I want to do to encourage content creators. You know, but I see some people get really I also get discouraged sometimes when I create content, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, it doesn't even have so much views. That means people are not seeing it. Or it's something to just improve visibility. That's what I would do differently if I'm to be the CEO of those platforms.
What would a content creator learn to make themselves visible in the content creation industry?
Good. Now you can't say this in particular, but what those platforms will recommend is just stick by our rules and regulations. We do not want things that will show nudity. We do not want so much tragic things. Like there are some things that they do not want. So sometimes if you're able to abide by some of this, then the videos will get more distribution. But in some cases where you're not, it's not like something you've done out, like, purposely, then they tend to clamp down on your distribution. So that's why when someone is creating content, you need to take away so much violence, so much, like, things that people are very sensitive, child abuse. And so if people can avoid some of this and stick to their rules and regulations, then there's possibility that the contents will get distributed.
Excellent. On that note, I want to share something with you. I'm sure you're not very aware of CleverNet TV. CleverNet TV was created because of all this. It was noticed that content creators struggle. So CleverNet TV was created to support and enhance what you do, so you don't have limitation. You can fly the way you want. So I will advise you and your crew to sign up with CleverNet TV and upload your stuff there, because CleverNet TV is also diaspora TV that sees your content, and people can monetize. You can also monetize it there by yourself. So you're not just limited to Facebook, Instagram, and all that. And there's no rules. You can fly as much as you want to fly. All right. I'm sure you grab that. I'm sure you grab that. So send us a message, write us a letter, see what we want to do, and we can get you on board. We get you as fast as you want to go, and you can go. On that note, we will go for a second break, and when we come back, we'll begin to round off with Lizzy, the content creator and brand manager. Don't go away. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Hello there. Looking for an African movie? Search no further. Clevenard African Movies TV is here for you. We are dedicated to the acceleration of African films, TV series, documentaries, and lots more. Explore our movies at home or on the go. Clevenard Movies is free to watch on clevenard.com. Don't miss this opportunity. Hurry now. Sign up and subscribe today.
All right, welcome back on Be Inspired with Ugotuvijames. Yeah, I'm sure you're having a great time as we're chatting to Lizzy, the content creator and brand manager. Still with Lizzy here as we're about to round off. She has more to share. Let's get to know her personally more, some personal stuff about Lizzy. So Lizzy, any 6 or 5 facts about you that we would like to know, that you'd like to tell us? Anything facts about you?
Anything fact?
Yeah, facts.
Oh, well, for a fact, I am female. That's a fact. And then another factual thing about me is the fact that I am a content creator, like I had mentioned. And another one is that I am a biomedical science student, which is always very difficult for people to understand. And another is that I have a foundation in computer science, which is like opposite of everything, computer science to biomedical and then to content creation. Is that 4 or 5?
We're listening.
And then the 5th is that, oh, I did mention I am, of course, from Delta State, from the Igbo part of Delta State. So those are facts.
Okay. Are you married or single?
I was married, but not anymore.
Okay. Okay. Any children? Children?
Yeah, I have a son. I have a 9-year-old son, and we are like he that lives with me.
So with your son, where's your favorite family vacation that you like to go?
Oh, well, for vacation with my son, we go to most of the time we go to Nigeria, and he kind of likes. I enjoy flying, and somehow I see that he enjoys flying. So most of the memorable vacation that I love that he has also loved so far is traveling to Nigeria and just being in the rural.
Apart from South Africa, if you could live anywhere else, where would that be?
Oh, well, that would be in Nigeria, and that would be in Delta State, just in my village.
Wow, you see, you like Nigeria very much.
Oh, well, I can't help it.
Okay, all right. What drives you as an individual to be a go-getter? Because these are things people want to know. People want to learn from individuals. If this person can do this, maybe I can do it as well. What drives you? What gives you the kick?
What drives me is, again, and unchanging, the fear of being poor. I honestly do not want. It's not so much about. It's not for me. Like you had asked me, what is success to me? It's not about the monetary aspect. It's just about like I have this fear of failure. I don't want to do something and not succeed in it. So that's just my drive. That fear of failing. That fear of I'm average in this thing I do. It's a motivation on its own for me, and it's it's just a self motivation. I don't want to fail. I just want to succeed in this thing. So that fear drives me. I don't want to end up not being successful in whatever I do. So it's just about that fear of failure. It drives me, puts me on my feet.
Wow, nice. Interesting. That's what everybody needs to do. You must push harder and continue to push your passion at all times. All right. For those people who needs a miracle, some people out there now going through horrific time. Some people don't. I mean, there's some people going through difficulties in life right now. What word or motivation would you like to say to them?
It doesn't last. It doesn't last. And for people who are going through things like indecision in the career path, in different aspects of life, I just know it doesn't last. I have been in situations where I thought I would never come out from. I have been in dark places where I thought I would never come out. You know, like the loss of a loved one. It's one of the darkest places. So this thing, time takes care of everything. That's what I like. That I just came to believe in that time and effort. If you put in effort and not just believe that miracle with time, it wouldn't last. That is just a simple thing. Time takes care of everything.
In other words, no matter situation you find yourself, no matter difficulties you're going through, you should be able to feel persevered to that it won't last. You should
That is,
have the back of your mind and have faith that you will come out of it and you will have a good life.
that is just a thing. It's a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. I have experienced it and I say it to people.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right. It's Christmas. It's Christmas now. It's Christmas season. Any message for people out there who are going to enjoy Christmas and also New Year?
Oh, well, my message for Christmas is mostly spend carefully and smartly, because even though it's going to be the festive period, but it's only a few days. So the smart for people like us who have kids, we understand that January it's a long month, so that's just the enjoy reasonably and plan ahead. Don't just go into the spending spree. So that's my advice for people going into the festive season.
And the New Year? And the New Year.
Oh, the New Year. For the New Year, what I do for a New Year is usually, it might sound like a cliche, but what I do, I set out new goals, because I'll look at the goals that I've achieved, the goals that I've set out. Did I achieve this? Why didn't I achieve this? So I do that all the time. It's something that started as a child, where you'll be asked to write things you want to be done in the following year. I still do that. So I just set out realistic goals and map out how to achieve them. So people shouldn't just dive into the new year. Just have realistic goals that you're going to work on. If it's taking up a short program, if it's starting a content creation, just different goals. If it's taking that medical test that you have been postponing, those are the things that I map out. And then for people who are into business, just big business moves.
All right. All right. Any message to, you have a boy, any message to a girl child and a boy child out there that are also watching you?
For the girl child, okay, I have a son. So for my boy child, what I tell my boy child is, what if another boy child that is like my son's age, less than 10 years, is I teach consent from this age. I teach consent. Don't play rough with a girl. If your classmate says, leave my hand, leave my hand. So I teach consent from this. And for me, it is very important that those values are inculcated into those kids at this stage, not waiting until they are 18. No. So I teach consent from this stage. And then for the girl child, I don't have a girl child, but I am very much invested in a lot of projects that affect the girl child. And that's why I have the part for teenage girls. So for the girl child, what I advise is, be firm when you speak. Do not be intimidated. Do not let people shut you down. Do not let people put your voice in. No. Be firm and let your voice be heard. My message.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. All right. We are rounded off now. You are in South Africa. How is South Africa?
That's right. South Africa has been so much blessing. It has been so much blessings to me. I have learned things that I would never have learned if I wasn't in South Africa. I have gotten, like, being in South Africa on its own, it's an education for me. So it's been so much of a positive reviews for me. The experience has been excellent so far.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Any last word for the viewers and people watching you out there?
My last word is still going to be on the theme, something to inspire people. If you think you are not getting content, people want to hear your stories. People want to watch the world from your camera as well. So people should do something about it.
Okay. All right. So, for note's sake, where do we find your content again? And how can we, so do we want, if you want to watch them now, how easily can we get hold of you?
If you go on Facebook and then you just type Saint NK, my contents will pop up, my page will pop up. And from there, you can be directed to other platforms. But 100% of my content is on Facebook at Saint NK. That's Saint, SAINTNK.
Okay, that's it for us. We've at Saint NK. Go grab, go watch, go subscribe, go support, and be entertained, more importantly. All right, NK, thank you so much for being on the program. We enjoy your time with you. We all feel inspired now by hearing your untold story and how you've been doing this thing and how you're doing it to keep up and maintain the spirit of inspiration that you have inside of you. We just want to say thank you for being on the program. We want to wish you all the best, and we want to see more of you, more of NK on TV, in the cinemas, and all in diaspora. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Tubi. I do appreciate it. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody, that's it for us today on Be Inspired. I'm sure you're inspired already. I'm sure you grab what you need to grab. But more importantly, if you look at the story, it's because she never gave up. She kept persevering. She kept pushing. She kept trying. She kept giving it all her best. Even when she failed, she kept going. So that's what I want to encourage you. Never give up in life. Never look down on yourself or condemn yourself where you are. Life has a future for you. And keep your head up and keep pushing. No matter how many times you fail, keep pushing. And God is there to support you. Remember, what God cannot do does not exist. All right, everybody. Till we'll meet you again next time on Be Inspired. Take care of yourself and keep hope alive. Bye for now. See you soon.